Carolina Weather Watchers. I'm the host for South Carolina Weather, Jesse Peterson. Let's talk about the weather for your Friday evening. Now, looking at the radar right now, we do have some showers and storms just to the west of Columbia right now. Those are going to be kind of moving a bit eastward, southeast, kind of. These things, they're kind of moving. Radar's having some difficulties right there. I don't know what the world happened, but it kind of twitched out, but it's still here. So, this is what it looks like right now. Just these downpours up there, maybe even some slight sprinkles going through the Spartanburg region right now, but everyone else is looking pretty good right now. And even as we go into the MRMS, we are going to turn this off first off. And you can see a lot of things going on the map right now. Let me go on and show y'all everything. So you can see that we do have some rain all the way up here inside of Canada as well. Rain going all the way up there. Nothing, again, really for the Carolinas except for some areas just to the north and west of Raleigh, North Carolina. Also, inside of Virginia, we do have some storms going through there. We did have some storms go through South Carolina earlier today. I did see some damage pictures, small limbs being broken off of trees. So some pretty strong gusts out there. We also did get we are getting a lot of rain, especially in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and eastern Texas is getting their fair share of rain, as well as southern Georgia and Florida getting their share of rain. Some severe weather going on in eastern New Mexico, and as well as western Texas and northern Mexico getting their dose of rain. Up here inside the Midwest and inside of the Great Lakes region, we do have some downpours and some storms going through there right now. And as well as up there inside the northern United States and the Northeast, also seeing some storms up there as well. So a lot of things going on. And then here goes Tropical Storm Beryl right here. The thing is right now just to the north of Yucatan, and it is trending up and it is going straight for Texas. So we're gonna continue to watch for that as well. Now let's go and let's talk about our cloud cover. Cloud cover right now, just up there inside the upstate, heavy cloud cover up there inside the upstate, but that's pretty much it. Maybe a bit of some lighter cloud cover in Myrtle Beach, but mainly the main cloud cover is in the upstate. Going on and talking about cloud cover total percentage for the next 18 hours or so. As you push this forward, you can see that cloud cover is kind of training over the upstate, even as we get into tomorrow morning, around 9 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow 9 o'clock in the morning. Still have a bunch of cloud cover up there inside the upstate, and maybe some lighter cloud cover trying to get into the PD and low country of South Carolina tomorrow, but mainly most of the clouds stay up there inside the upstate of South Carolina. Here's our current temperatures: 88 in Columbia, 82 in Charleston, 80 in Savannah, 82 in Myrtle Beach, 88 in Augusta, 82 in Greenville and Anderson, as well as 84 in Rock Hill, 88 inside of Bennettsville, and 80 inside of Loris. Here's our low temperatures for tonight: around 79 at Charleston, 81 Hilton Head Island, 76 Georgetown, 79 in Myrtle Beach, 78 in Sumter, 79 in Columbia, 76 in Dillon, 75 for pretty much Rock Hill, Spartanburg, Greenville, and Anderson, 74 in Greenwood, 77 in Aiken. Here's our forecast precipitation for the next 24 hours. You can see that we're actually going to get some pretty beneficial rain even up there in Cheraw, 1 to 1.5 inches possible. Sumter, 1 to 1.5 inches possible. Moncks Corner, a quarter of an inch to half an inch. Walterboro, half an inch to an inch. Hilton Head Island, tenth of an inch to half an inch. Same thing for like um, Rock Hill, half an inch to an inch. Spartanburg, Greenville, Anderson, tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch. Columbia, a quarter of an inch to a half an inch. But places like downtown Charleston, Georgetown, and Moncks Corner might not even see a drop of rain tomorrow. So we'll continue to monitor that, and we will update you all again tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow morning, and see what happens with that. Here's our SPC outlook for pretty much for the next couple of days, next 8 days really. As you can see the one up there on the top left. That is our day one risk of severe storms. We do have a marginal risk that does continue going into the upstate of South Carolina. I think most of those have really just died out, so really just look out for a TSTM, just for some regular thunderstorms, everyday thunderstorms. And even tomorrow as well, the entire state, tomorrow and Sunday, the entire state of South Carolina could see thunderstorms, so you're going to have to watch out for that. Now let's go and let's talk about the models for tomorrow and the models for portions of Sunday as well. Here's the 18Z. And as we move this forward, see at around 11 o'clock, the ARRR does think that more storms can fire up. We'll watch and see if that happens or not. But there's a chance that it might not. There's a chance that it might. But as of now, the models are saying that yes, some showers and storms will fire up, especially in the upstate of South Carolina as well. So just gonna have to watch out for that. And then as we get to around early mornings, they're really going to die off. But then as we get into the afternoon hours here, 2 o'clock right here, do have showers just to the west of Augusta, or I say thunderstorm just to the west of Augusta, and just to the south of Columbia tomorrow at around 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock, widespread rain over all of South Carolina, widespread rain, pretty much, I'd say, over like central Georgia, southern Georgia as well. But mainly for South Carolina, just a bunch of downpours. I'd say Midland, Southern, upstate, Northern or Western, low country of South Carolina, and those will move eastward. And gusty winds and small hail can all be possible from this as we continue to move into tomorrow evening as well. Maybe even some large hail, some small hail possible going into around 8 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. So we'll continue to watch for that. And we will probably, honestly, I would not be surprised if we saw a marginal risk for tomorrow. Just because, if you can see the dew points here. Dew points are all the way inside the 70s, like it's going to be moist tomorrow. And you can even see the 500 millibar winds. Not really too much, but that's really just for tornadoes. The one thing that you really want to look at is CAPE. And there is a bunch of CAPE in the atmosphere tomorrow, like a bunch of CAPE in the atmosphere tomorrow. So I would not be surprised tomorrow if we are under a marginal risk of severe weather for tomorrow. Because if a storm really does decide it wants to try and get going, it really can. Now let's go and let's talk about the excessive rainfall. We are under a marginal risk of excessive rainfall for pretty much for tonight. It might get deleted after a little while, just for the upstate of South Carolina. But as we go into tomorrow, look at this. A slight risk of excessive rainfall is possible, pretty much going from North Carolina, from all the way down into like Rock Hill, Columbia, Sumter, Florence, down towards pretty much the I-26, I-95 corridor region, Augusta as well. Trying to get up there towards like halfway up the upstate of South Carolina, but you can see it on the screen. If you're looking, you have the yellow, that's the slight risk. The green is the pretty much the marginal risk. So from downtown Charleston all the way up to like Myrtle Beach, all the way up the coast, no chance of excessive rainfall. But if you're pretty much, I'd say, inland, you have a chance to get some excessive rainfall. Even the upstate as well has a 5% risk of excessive rainfall. And not tomorrow, but Sunday as well, we also do have a chance for excessive rainfall for the Midlands, Western Low Country, and the upstate of South Carolina. Not really too much of the PD region. And also Monday as well, we have another chance of excessive rainfall. 5% risk, again, for mainly most of South Carolina, except for the PD region, like the northern PD regions. And finally, we get a break on day 5. So probably going to be some rain for about the next 4 or so days. And actually I can go and I can check the next 3 days. We can go on my little thing here and let's check out precipitation for the next 3 days. That's snowfall. Alright. So rain. Let me pull this up so y'all can see it. But rain for the next 3 or so days, around 2 to 3 inches possible in Aiken, 1.5 to 2 inches in Barnwell, 1.5 to 2 in Walterboro, And again, once you get really to like the Charleston, all the way up into Georgetown and Myrtle Beach, you're not really getting a lot of rain at all. It's really this sector. Hold on, I have my pen too. It's really this sector right here that's probably going to get the most amount of rain out of everybody. 2 to 3 inches, maybe even isolated 4 inch cannot be ruled out at all for the next 3 days. So now let's go and let's talk about the tropics. Beryl is the only thing that's going on right now, and so we're going to just put a deep dive into it. And right now it is a believe it is a yes tropical storm. Winds up to 65 miles an hour with gusts of up to 75 miles per hour. But there is an increasing risk of damaging hurricane force winds and life threatening storm surge in portions of northeastern Mexico and the lower and middle Texas coast late Sunday and Monday, where hurricane and storm surge watches have been issued. Additional watches may be required tonight or early Saturday. Interest in these areas should follow any advice given by local officials. Flash and urban flooding are possible across portions of the Texas Gulf Coast and eastern Texas from Sunday through the middle of next week. Rip currents will cause life-threatening beach conditions through the weekend across most of the Gulf Coast. Beachgoers should heed warning flags, and the advice of lifeguards and local officials before venturing into the water. As well as strong winds, storm surge, and heavy rainfall will continue across portions of the Yucatan Peninsula this evening. So that's pretty much what's going on with Beryl right now. Let's go and let's look at the tropical tidbits, and let's look at the track of this thing, seeing where it's gonna go. So here is tropical tidbits. Here's what Tropical Storm Beryl looks like right now. Definitely not as strong as it looked earlier, as like Category 4 or Category 5, because it's a tropical storm. It's not going to be. But you can definitely see the difference between now and then earlier. But here is what Beryl looks like right now. There goes the Yucatan Peninsula right here. And it's moving northwest or barreling towards Texas. So here is the official track of where Beryl is supposed to go right now. Not really, South Carolina does not really have a shot really of getting any impact from Beryl. But as it moves closer towards Texas, it will intensify more into a hurricane and is expected to be a hurricane at least by 1 p.m. on Sunday. And then by 1 p.m. on Monday, it will still be a hurricane, and that's when it will probably make landfall somewhere around 1 o'clock on Monday. 1 o'clock p.m., I should say 1 o'clock p.m. So here's the last map, and then it's going to go up kind of towards like the Austin and Dallas Fort Worth regions. As we move on, it will just become a tropical depression with winds sustained at around 30 miles an hour, gusts of around 40 miles an hour possible from like San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, and heavy rain will still be possible with it as well as it moves all the way up. And then it will probably be Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana. That's probably going to have to look out and just to see if it will continue to be a tropical depression or not. It might just be like a regular low pressure as well, but still, regular low pressure can still bring gusty winds, can still bring that heavy rain as well. So we'll continue to watch for that. Here is the hurricane models and what they think is going to happen. They are really kind of putting it down kind of near just to the south and west of Houston and just to the north and east of Brownsville, Texas as well. Kind of in the middle there. Some of the models are switching or kind of moving a bit eastward though, and are saying that it will kind of go on and go kind of closer to Houston instead, which would not be a great thing because it will stay over water longer. So that'd be a worst case scenario. But the best case scenario is if it hits like northeastern Mexico or north or just southeastern Texas or just southern Texas in general. Here's the GFS ensemble again, kind of in between Brownsville and Houston, Texas, as it continues to move its way up. And some of the models are even saying that this thing could still be a low pressure, even as it gets up into Wisconsin, Kentucky, North Carolina, West Virginia as well. Still bringing probably some heavy rainfall with it, moisture with it, and also this will aid, especially in cool air as well, which I'll talk about in a second. But here's what, so how's that, as that thing is moving upward, this is just the GFS, the American model, has this thing going up, curving pretty much that's what it's going to do. And the reason why we know that it's going to curve is because of a trough. I'll show that later. Here is the European model. Here's the European ensemble. Again, same thing. It's going to curve upward. But this one has it a bit further south, away more from Houston and more towards Brownsville, Texas. So, again, that would be kind of a best case scenario. But right now, again, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. That's all we can do for right now. Here's the intensity guidance right now. Intensity guidance has this thing going back into a Category 1 hurricane, which is probably the most likely thing right now. But there are still actually a bunch that still say that it will remain a tropical storm. So we'll continue to monitor that as well. But honestly, the way how Beryl's been going, I think that it will definitely become a Category 1 hurricane. And that's Beryl. Here's remnants of Aleta. Out here in the Pacific. It's just to the west of Mexico right now. This thing isn't doing anything right now. Just sustained winds 30 miles an hour, gusts probably 40 miles an hour out there. Probably just impacting a little island out there. But again, nothing really major at all. So that's Aleta out there in the Pacific. And that's that. So that's our hurricane talk. Let's go and let's talk about the future. And then we'll talk about what I wanted to talk about earlier. Here, as he pushes forward, you can see that pretty much rainfall storms will continue for South Carolina as we move even into the 7th, the 8th, and there goes Beryl right there. And even the 9th as well, the 10th, and then the moisture for Beryl as well gets pushed up into the Appalachian Mountains, into the deep south. And that will also impact us as well as the moisture around on July the 11th, July the 12th. It's pretty much going to be raining in South Carolina almost every single day for this month of July, I should say. Maybe we might get a little break on July the 18th. We're a bit too far out to talk about that, though, so we're just going to push it back. But again, every day this month of July, South Carolina probably does have a chance of rain. It's just this summer type pattern, and it's obviously hurricane season as well, so a bunch of moisture is going off. But this is one thing that I didn't want to talk about, so let's go into the continental United States. Here is the 500 millibar height anomaly. You can see the blues, you can see the oranges, and if you've been watching, you know that the blues mean unsettled weather, and then the orange and the reds, the purples, means very nice weather, and the more blue it gets, or the more darker the blue gets, the cooler it will be, and then the more purple or the more darker the red gets, the better weather, the more hotter it will be. And you guys know that if these air masses collide, severe weather or thunderstorm activity will start in the middle of them. So here is just, and I want you to show you guys something. This is not going to take too long. I just want to show you this. You can see the air. Obviously, you can see the very unsettled weather going on inside of the north central United States right now. And then there's Beryl right now. You can notice something. As Beryl is moving into Texas, you can start to see that the trough, or the blue area, is starting to move down south because Beryl is attracting it. So as this thing is moving down south, that's the heat wave, or the ridge, I'd say, inside of the west is going to be building more, which means probably some hotter conditions, probably more fair conditions going on for the west, and even for us as well inside the east, mainly up there inside the northeast as well. More nice conditions continue. And as Beryl collides pretty much with this thing, with this trough, it will pretty much dissipate. Beryl will not really be with us anymore after that. And look at this. I just want to show y'all this as well. Look on July the 13th. Now, obviously, there will be rain. There probably will be some type of thunderstorm activity. But this is July the 13th. The entire country, or the entire lower 48, is inside of an orange, kind of like reddish region as well. Which means that potentially, we can pretty much see some nice fair weather throughout most of the United States, as it will be more warmer than average. It will be more fair than average. But now let's go on and let's talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. let's go and talk about it. So, Mr. Anthony said, "Good evening. Good evening to you. My name is LJ. It's still hotter. It is still hotter than blazes over here, and the mosquitoes and gnats are on their job." Yeah. I didn't see any. There was no mosquitoes. I haven't seen any mosquitoes. Um, for a while. Honestly. Well, yes, I have. Yes, I have. Never mind. But yes, it was hot today. I think my high temperature for today. Let me pull it up real quick. My temperature for today, my high temperature right now at my house, 82, feels like 91 still, and the high temperature for today was 95, with the heat index values getting all the way up to 113 degrees. So it was still very hot out there, especially in my neck of the woods as well. And then my cousin says, "Hi, Joseph. Rain every day. Dog days." I'm telling you my age. I mean, rain every day. Again, we're just in the summer period. This does not mean that every single person will get rain inside the entire state of South Carolina. Um, but it does mean that some, when I say some, I mean probably, I'd say a good, I don't want to say too much, but I'd say around a good 30 to 40% could probably see some rain every day. It might not be the same 30 to 40%, but it might be a different 30 to 40% of people. But again, not everyone's going to see rain every single day. It would be actually kind of insane if somebody did, though. But let's go and let's talk about our forecast for Raleigh, North Carolina, and then San Antonio. And then if we don't have any more questions, I will be out. So we talked about severe weather as well for Raleigh. For pretty much for excessive rainfall tomorrow, slight risk of excessive rainfall. So you're gonna have to watch out for some flooding concerns as you go into tomorrow in Raleigh, North Carolina. But talking about San Antonio for tonight, I should say, not really any chance of rain until you get to around tomorrow at 4 o'clock p.m. Maybe some showers, maybe some storms popping up as you go into tomorrow evening as well, and maybe even around 12 to 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you can start to see Beryl right there starting to bring its outer bands. You see there goes the low pressure right there. There it goes as it's trying to pretty much make landfall down in southern Brownsville, and you can see the outer band going towards San Antonio as you get to around 4 o'clock on July the 7th. Up here inside of Raleigh, North Carolina, though, when you push this backward, you can see that there is the chance for some downpours, and as we move into tomorrow at around like the evening time, 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, even, got to watch out for some showers and storms there, maybe even around 12 o'clock in the morning as well. So you're going to have to watch out for that. And then in terms of temperatures, as you move into Raleigh, let me move this over here. I'm late for this little thing to load at the top. Alright, so here is, let me move all the way to 9 o'clock p.m. And as we get into tonight, low temperature seems to be around 77. And then tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow high temperatures around 97. And then low temperatures tomorrow at around 80, 78 seems to be. And then around 2 o'clock on July the 7th, it could be around 92 degrees. Going down here towards San Antonio now. Let's see, we have low temperatures for tonight. Seems to be around 80, 78, somewhere around there. And then high temperatures around 98 for tomorrow. And then low temperatures tomorrow at around 80, somewhere around there. I don't know why that was not zoomed in, but. And then as you get into 2 o'clock on July 7th, it gets to be around 93 degrees. So that's what's going on. Right now, in terms of both Raleigh and San Antonio, let me move back to the radar. And here's one last look at the radar if you want to look at it for South Carolina as well. And let me move on to live radar. We also do, I actually just remembered, but we also do have something coming up in like the next couple of months or so. So make sure that you guys are staying tuned for that as well, because that's going to be a pretty big thing for the channel as well. I can't say nothing just yet about it. Only me and I think only me and somebody else knows, but that's pretty much it. So make sure you guys are staying tuned for that. I will be back hopefully tomorrow morning. I don't know if I will be here tomorrow evening. It just determines what time I get back home tomorrow. But I should be here tomorrow morning. That shouldn't be really that much of a problem. Subscribers right now 140 with peak wins with, I'm looking over here to the right side. But okay, subscriber goal of 200, and then we're trying to get to 200 by August 31st. I don't know why I said peak wins, but okay, likes. Okay, we have 5 people watching and 8 likes, so I think mainly everyone has. Okay, mainly everyone has logged off, I think, for the night. And in terms, make sure that you guys share as well. Okay, make sure that you guys share as well, because we are getting closer and closer, and the more that you guys share, the more people that we can get to actually subscribe to the channel as well. So that's pretty much it for me. Hopefully I will be back tomorrow morning. If I'm not, everyone have a fantastic Saturday, and I'll hopefully see you guys either tomorrow morning or if I don't see you tomorrow morning, Sunday.